There's over $1 trillion of waste in supply chains today.
The net zero carbon emission is something that corporates are taking very seriously.
To meet these objectives, they're going to have to take into consideration CO2 emissions.
Welcome to Net Zero Carbon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have the absolute honor of having Dave Slade, Principal Biofuels Scientist at Chevron, back once again on the episode. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dave.
Thank you, Mary. It's great to be back.
So today we're kind of getting into the lower carbon intensity fuels and some of the bio-based diesel fuels. Before we get too far into that, let's get some background on you and how you got started at Chevron.
Sure. Yeah, I started back in 2007, and since then I've focused on bio-based diesel quality characteristics, the manufacturing process development, and then fuel utilization expansion. So 19 years in this industry, and I'm excited to be able to talk with you all today.
I am happy that we have a chance to talk to you again. I had a blast talking with you last time. So without further ado, I say let's just get on into it today. You have an extensive background in lower carbon intensity fuel development. At a high level, what does that mean in fuel supply? What does that diversity in fuel supply mean? And also, what are the strategic advantages of having a fleet that is taking this approach to their fuel supply?
Yeah, good question. First off, diversity in fuel supply really means having multiple fuel options. Now, on the diesel side, this can range from petroleum diesel to renewable diesel to biodiesel, but it also includes things like natural gas and even hydrogen that your fleet can use depending on your goals and operating conditions. So the strategic advantages of having diversity in your fuel supply boil down to flexibility, especially for operations that may have some kind of lower carbon intensity goal. The more flexible diesel fuel users can be with their fuel decisions, the more options they can access in the marketplace, depending on price, availability, or even time of year. So conventional diesel fuel is a baseline for almost every fleet. Incorporating lower carbon intensity fuels into your mix brings diversity to fuel supply that can be advantageous in a variety of situations. As an example, a fleet that's already using a B10 diesel blend, which means 10% biodiesel and petroleum diesel, can use a higher blend when cost effective. This can not only save on overall operational costs, but it can also help the company make more progress toward lower carbon intensity goals. Additionally, we have customers whose fuel blending decisions are driven by the time of year and by their comfort level running biodiesel or renewable diesel in colder temperatures. In Canada, we work with fleets who ramp up their use of lower carbon intensity fuels in the summer when they don't have to worry about the fuel's freezing point, and then they toggle down in the winter. So they're getting more of their lower carbon intensity benefit when the temperatures are warmer. That's a choice that makes sense for their physical environment. Others in other parts of the country may make fuel choices based on different factors.
So if I'm a company and I'm looking and getting into the biodiesel or the alternative fuel games, how do I choose what's right for me? Whether it's a fossil diesel or a different blend level of diesel or renewable diesel to the other fuel types that we hear about, such as natural gas. How do I know where to start or what to pick?
Yeah, can be a tricky situation for people who don't have a lot of experience. So one thing a company can do in choosing the best fuel for their operation is to start with a fuel provider that can actually help work through that question with you. At Chevron, we pride ourselves on being the source for both quality fuel and helpful insights for our customers. So if a customer needs support deciding what fuel fits their needs best, we're here to talk through those questions with them. Choosing the right fuel is like choosing the right tool for the job. It depends on your equipment, location, goals, and budget. All of these things play a part in which fuel is going to be the right fit for your operation. So biodiesel and renewable diesel are what we call direct replacement fuels. All engine manufacturers have approved those for use in engines at some blend level. But there are opportunities to use higher blends, even up to B100, which would be 100% biodiesel. We worked with a company called Optimus Technologies for many years that provides a fuel heating system that can be added to your fuel tank to heat B100 to prevent gelling and allow B100 to be used in cold conditions, even upper Midwest dead of winter. If your company has lower carbon intensity goals it's working toward, another good option could be compressed natural gas. So renewable natural gas or CNG are both good fuels for alternative vehicles. Hydrogen's another one. Hydrogen's another great lower carbon intensity fuel that you might consider. Now, these fuel types don't necessarily have lower carbon intensities than biodiesel or renewable diesel, but they can provide lower life cycle carbon emissions depending on how they're produced, and they're another potential fuel solution for customers. One note there, they do require specific engines, which means a change in equipment would be necessary. So, to make it easy, many of our customers start by purchasing a few natural gas trucks to test the benefits without committing to a full fleet conversion. This allows them to take advantage of lower fuel costs while maintaining flexibility, like we discussed a couple minutes ago. Additionally, CNG has reduced emissions compared to diesel because it produces less CO2 and particulate matter when burned. We work with Cummins to offer a demo program to our customers to trial CNG trucks that are equipped with Cummins' new X15N natural gas engine. This is a 15-liter engine that offers similar horsepower, torque, and range to a traditional diesel engine, but uses natural gas. Fleets can test this equipment for up to 2 weeks to get a feel for the truck and their refueling options before deciding to make a purchase. And on the hydrogen side, we work with 1H2 to bring mobile hydrogen refueling trailers to customers to fuel on location in the California market. This approach is more convenient for hydrogen customers while also simplifying refueling, as hydrogen may not be readily available at fuel stations.
So, out of curiosity, do you have any examples of these fuels in use?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've helped thousands of customers adopt various lower carbon intensity fuels. To give an example, I attended a conference a couple of months ago, and PepsiCo spoke about their use of B100 to lower their life cycle carbon emissions. They have carbon intensity reduction goals and a nationwide footprint, and B100 has been a good fit for their fleet. There are some additional considerations if someone wants to go all the way up to B100, and we can discuss those with customers who are interested in that option. But you can actually run that level in any conventional diesel engine. In fact, in France, which has essentially the same engine equipment we have here in the US, all diesel engine manufacturers have had to approve the use of B100 in all their new engines, or they aren't allowed to sell those engines in France. So this is a great example of policy and technology aligning. As another example, John Deere recently announced its approval of B30 for use in all Tier 4 John Deere Power Systems engines. That actually goes along with their support for B100 in all of their older equipment. So we have several customers in central Iowa that use B30 today and have for many years. So this is more popular in Iowa thanks to a state tax incentive and now John Deere's recent announcement. But we've seen customers have great success with this blend B30 for years. In fact, we used to run a local fleet on B30 or higher when we traveled around the area for business and never experienced any notable issues.
That's pretty cool. Renewable fuels, particularly biodiesel, have been in the market for decades, but there's still lingering consumer questions about quality. Tell us what buyers need to know about biodiesel quality.
Yeah, that is definitely still the number one concern folks have. And we know your equipment is expensive. We know keeping that equipment operational with minimal downtime is a high priority. So quality is a crucial point when we're talking about fuels, particularly renewable diesel and biodiesel. Poorly processed biodiesel or renewable diesel can cause issues such as fuel filter plugging or poor cold weather performance. So removing impurities from the finished fuel during the production process is crucial to preventing those issues from arising. Unfortunately, not all producers are equally good at getting impurities out. So it's important to know where your fuel's coming from. You want to be able to ask about its properties. Don't assume it's made for cold weather. Always ask up front or work with a provider that you can work alongside to figure out those issues as you go. At Chevron, we strive to go above and beyond industry minimums because we know our customers expect more. Our rigorous production processes deliver high quality, lower carbon intensity fuels. And should issues arise with our fuel or even with diesel fuel you purchased from another entity, we can offer complimentary fuel testing services to help you get to the bottom of the issue.
So I've heard you guys say that Chevron is a source not only for fuel, but insights for customers. Do you mind kind of telling me more about the benefits that Chevron can offer customers? Like, I didn't know that you guys offer the fuel testing.
Yeah, that's something that we've decided to do to help support our products and get more customers comfortable with diesel fuel in the long run. That helps us all. And so we have decades of experience in petroleum diesel production, lubricant production, and now within the last couple of decades, lower carbon intensity fuel production. We are truly the source for fuel, and we're experts in this space across the different fuel types. So when you have questions about various fuel options, what would be good solutions for your fleet or operation, how to determine what blend levels to use, etc., please connect with us. We're happy to talk through any of your questions when you're in the decision-making phase. And then when it's time to buy, keep in mind Chevron is the only major fuel provider that offers lubricants and a full suite of fuel solutions. We've helped thousands of customers simplify their strategic decisions and operations, and we'd be happy to help you. Beyond what Chevron can offer, We have a number of strategic relationships that bring additional expertise to our customers. I mentioned Cummins, who manufactures many diesel engine technologies, and Optimus Technologies, who manufactures equipment to winterproof B100 fuel. But we have working relationships across the fleet, rail, marine, and heavy equipment industries to bring our customers the solutions they're looking for.
So, first of all, I didn't know that you guys actually provide extra services to customers and prospective customers. I absolutely love that fact. But if someone, wants to take advantage of those extra services, where can they go and where can the audience find more information about Chevron, low carbon fuels, and other things we've talked about today?
Well, if you're ready to explore fuel options that fit your fleet or business, please visit our website, shown on the screen here. Or if you already know someone with Chevron, connect with them, whether that's in the lubricant space or the fuel space. And we can help get you tied up with the right people you want. So please visit the website, talk to your Chevron representatives. We look forward to trying to help you with your future decisions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Thank you, Mary.
There is over $1 trillion of waste in supply chains today.
The net zero carbon emission is something that corporates are taking very seriously.
To meet these objectives, they're going to have to take into consideration CO2 emissions.